they say it takes a village to raise a child. And here, you're making that village.
Hello everyone, this is Soundarya Athimuthu from the Quint and you're listening to Do I Like It? A Quint production where we review anything and everything under the sun. And in this episode, I'll review Anjali Menon's Wonder Woman. Do you understand that as individuals we all have stark differences, but we do share very interesting similarities as humans. Recently Samantha's Yashoda released and it was about the surrogate mothers, and in Wonder Woman it's about biological mothers dealing with pregnancy. While both the films looked at pregnancy with a completely different lens, they had a very unique similarity. They both highlighted heartwarming sisterhood and friendships among women. So Wonder Woman is a mixed bag of 6 pregnant women from different backgrounds. Like for instance, there is this woman from a very conservative upper middle class Brahmin family, and then there is another who's born in Bangalore but she marries a Mallu guy. There's a single mother and there is someone who has had, multiple miscarriages. So the film has all sorts of mothers that we can relate to in real life. They are very unique and very beautiful characters that forge a bond over the short stay in a prenatal class that they all visit. And it's very carefully written by Anjali Menon. Each character has its own purpose and is made to breathe in its own space. But before I talk in detail about the review of Wonder Woman, let me remind you, just go hit subscribe to the Quint's YouTube channel and follow us on all podcast streaming platforms. I thoroughly loved 2 performances in the whole lot. Of course, everybody did a great job, but these 2 kind of stood out for me. One is Parvati and another is Amrita. Their characterization in the film and their performances kind of brought in so much of realism to the screen that it kind of moved me in so many unexplainable ways. Something that I really loved about the film is how it takes a very important stance on failed pregnancies. Like the film kind of eases out this maternal guilt, by reiterating that it's not a mother's fault when birth injuries happen. And honestly, watching Wonder Woman was like being part of a yoga session. You exhale this prejudice and toxicity and kind of inhale goodwill and positivity. It was just so refreshing, and the film as such was very engaging and informative too. The film deserves appreciation for creating awareness about the National Health Mission of Government of India's Lakshya program. According to the Labour Room Quality Improvement Initiative's guidelines, a woman has the right to companionship, during her labor. This is something that I learned after watching this film. However, Wonder Woman does fall into this traditional approach of, glorifying pregnancy and motherhood to a point where women who can bear children are called superheroes. Like, I get it, for all the physical and the mental pain that a woman goes through when she's put through this motherhood, she deserves to be called a superhero, no doubt about it. But it also kind of raises a question. Like, is it implied that you are a bad person? If you do not prioritize motherhood over anything else that you value, for instance, your career, or it can be as simple as a personal choice that you do not want to have children. In order to explain this, I need to quote an example. There was this brilliant scene in the film which kind of makes us empathize with one of the pregnant woman's miscarriages in the past. So the scene has a very understanding husband of the pregnant woman who values their relationship more. Like he prioritizes his wife over, thinking about having a child. So he goes on to say that it's okay to not have children also. I know what kind of a trauma that she's been put through in the process of, wanting a child. This is a very, very important and a progressive view that I felt was just getting passed off as a dialogue. Like we didn't have, a long time to sit with that emotion. However, through visuals, which are relatively, of more consequence, the film kind of fails to register the impact. Let me explain. We are made to love Nithya Menon's character more because she chooses motherhood over her ambition, right? And even Nadia's character, she says she feels unlucky because she lost a kid during her labor. Another thing that I really loved is that Anjali Menon had taken a lot of efforts to, include representation, include women from different socio-economic backgrounds, from different linguistic backgrounds. Like there is a Hindi-speaking woman, there is a Tamil or a Malayalam-speaking woman. So it's a very good mix of representation on screen. But then that created a doubt for me. Like, I was skeptical how Wonder Woman will cater to the diverse Indian audience as such. And hence, it bothers me that the film is predominantly in English, with few lines, of course, in multiple languages like Hindi, Tamil, or Malayalam, which comes with subtitles. So I think the film kind of restricts itself to, a niche audience, which is a very, English-speaking audience in the country. While I understand that dubbing this film in any one specific Indian language would kind of not do service to the core of this film, right? But then I sincerely believe that this film has such a beautiful message that it has to reach even the non-English speaking audience. So after all this talk, do I like Wonder Woman? Yeah, in all honesty, I think it's a very earnest attempt at exploring women friendships. It questions patriarchy, all while being inclusive about men who falter. It's a very heartwarming, feel-good story. It's not here to point out and thrash people who are, not progressive. It's just welcoming, and that's something that I really loved about Wonder Woman. So yeah, I really liked Wonder Woman, and that was this episode of Do I Like It? Follow us on Instagram at The Quint and tell us what you want us to talk about next week, and check out our website thequint.com for more groundbreaking reports and videos. This was Soundarya Athimuthu, and I'll see you in the next one. Do I Like It is a Quint original podcast hosted by Soundarya Athimuthu, executive produced by Shelly Walia and Ritu Kapoor, produced by Anjali Menon, edited by Anjali Menon, uses audio from Wonder Woman, theme music from BMG Production Music.
You were listening to the Quint's podcast.